to you with an interesting message, a hopeful message, hopefully, but a message that has perils and things that we have to watch out for. We have the grandest opportunity right now that America can change a lot. There can be great opportunity coming to us, but there are those that would like to thwart that great opportunity, that would like to stop what may be coming. For those that may know, President Trump went to Davos. Well, he didn't go to Davos. He actually teleconned into Davos, and he told them, he said point blank, he said, the golden age of America has begun. He said that if you want to do business in America, if you want to sell in America, build in America, make your products in America, or else pay a high tariff. So there's a lot of things to be seen for that. Trump has also signed an executive order to release the files on JFK, RFK, and MLK. What really happened to them? Will these files be released redacted, highly redacted, or will we finally start finding out what went down? Well, we got our ideas. We probably think we know what it is, and it's really time to come clean, right? Howdy there, Houston. So let's hope that we get some real answers on this. But the state that's so deep is not liking this one little bit. So you can expect a lot of pushback. You can expect they will do everything in their power to stop Trump. And one thing that I'm hearing that is being done is that the Fed is trying to basically destroy dollars. What they're trying to do is, they have bought into the stock market real heavy, and now they're taking the money out of the stock market. The Fed creates money, and they disappear money. So they are trying to take the money out of the stock market. They are trying to do things that would be very destructive to the economy. Now, that might be somewhat deflationary. There are other forces that may make things inflationary. In fact, tariffs will at first make things very inflationary. But, you're going to be paying for either taxes or products. You still pay either way. Well, hey, thank you, Christopher. Appreciate that. Coffee fun. Well, thank you, sir. Coffee is very much in order here all the time. So, appreciate that. So, bear in mind, you pay one way or the other, but there's another way we pay. A lot of people forget that the real cost of some of these cheap goods, especially from China, is that China's built their military up like crazy with it, and we face potential war with China. We have to up our defense annually. So you pay not just income taxes, but you're paying taxes to try to catch up with China militarily, to try to catch up with China technologically, because China is in competition with us, and China is a closed society. So we don't know as well what's going on inside China as they know what's going on inside this country. It's very hard to develop anything in this country that the Chinese don't grab. So because we're just so open as a society, we do have a lot of Chinese researchers here. A lot of them are really good, fine people, but it only takes 1 in 100 to be swayed over by the CCP to steal our stuff. So these are the things we have to look at. So hey, howdy there, Scrap 86. Ye shall not pass. Anyway, so Ed Mart, you look like a Game of Thrones character. Guys, this is a hat I've had for a long time, and I really appreciate it. And it does help keep things warm. Not sure AI or real. I'm for real, Aisley. You know that. Anyway, so they copy, not innovate. Well, they've copied everything we've had, but they actually do have some innovations. They take some of our ideas and they improve on them. For example, Boston Dynamics came out with the little 4-legged dog robots, and they had their little 2-legged robots. Well, China's got a walking humanoid robot now for sale for $12,000. You pay like what? The closest thing in the United States is probably $75,000. The dog robots that the Chinese are making are very, very capable. They're doing gymnastics that ours can't even match. So they have taken a lot of our ideas and improved on them. See, the difference between us and China is, while we graduate lawyers like crazy over here, hey, we got a super chat. Ed Mark, we'll appreciate it there. Thank you. Salute to you, Ed. Thank you for that. So they graduate more engineers per year than we graduate lawyers. Now, China is having an economic catastrophe right now because a big part of their economy was real estate, and a lot of the real estate was a bubble building houses. That people in China buy a home. We're going to have to talk about China. We're going to talk about Mexico. We're going to talk about Iran. And maybe I should have named this video International Relations or something. I don't know. But it's all these things are interrelated. There is opportunity and peril here in all these areas. Because China being on perhaps their last leg in terms of their economy might be tempted to do things sooner rather than later in terms of striking and taking Taiwan. Also, they know it's going to take a little bit for the American military to catch up. And they know that basically they've got their finger on the kill switch to the American jugular veins, or their power grid or critical infrastructure. And they know in time Trump will probably take that out. So they might want to move sooner rather than later. Same way with terrorist groups here in the United States. I just did a video which I revealed that, and it's local news only, carrying a lot of this stuff. There was an interception of 2 SUVs in Cochise County here in Arizona that had a lot of military-grade ammo. One SUV had 19,640 rounds of 7.62 by 39 millimeter, which is AK-47 style ammo. And the other vehicle had 10,000 rounds of 50 caliber ammo. Guys, this is very serious ammo. Yet that much is probably for some belt-fed, crew-served weapon. Yeah, the 50 cal is often used by snipers, some heavy-duty sniper rounds, but you don't need that for a sniper either. 50 cal ammunition is war ammunition. This is the ammunition you put in a Mall Deuce. This is the kind of ammunition that can take down a building, a brick building. You can shoot a wall down with this stuff. This is warfare type ammunition that is apparently was being distributed to one of these sleeper cells I've been warning you guys about. And there's more information coming out on these sleeper cells. There's more claims about them. So they might decide to strike soon. So these are all things we got to be aware of. You need that ammo. Hey, Jason. I hear you, buddy. I hear you. Yeah, I wouldn't mind some of that myself. I'd love to have my own little Mall Deuce. Anyway, so yeah, I got some 7.62 by 39 myself, but nothing like that amount of ammo. So that's in my repertoire. So 5.5, you know. Anyway, yeah, I won't go into all that. But anyway, guys. So be aware, guys. Be very situation aware here at home. So, but again, back to China. I'm kind of all over the place here. China is, they are desperate right now as a country. They may collapse, but it might take 10 or 20 years for it to happen. If we could just stave war off, you know, we'd have a lot of help. We'd have a lot of hope. But Xi Jinping may not go for that. He just may want to launch out. Now, maybe Trump can negotiate with him and, you know, kind of talk him down from where he's heading. I don't know. I don't know. You know Xi Jinping will try to play Trump. Now, that's a fact. But Trump is the only Western leader to ever get inside the inside of the Chinese palace. Ever. So, these strong men like Xi Jinping, the Ayatollahs, Putin, and Kim Jong-un of North Korea, strong men appreciate and understand a strong man. They do not respect a weak leader or a weak person put in position of leadership. I can't claim that the former President Taterhead was a leader. He was a puppet. So, are we buffering here tonight? You want to notice increase in their other view channels? Are we buffering heavy tonight, guys? Let me know. Well, thank you there, Mason. 5. We're 5 by 5. Good, good. All right, good. I just wanted to see that. Get me where you started talking about buffering. Loud and clear. Very good. So we have this similar situation in all these quarters. Now, back to, let's look at Mexico, for example. Mexico's got drug cartels. The drug cartels, they've been finding that one of the police agencies there found that the drug cartels had cameras everywhere spying them. They knew everywhere the police were going. The drug cartels are armed heavily. They're like a military operation. The drug cartels work in cahoots, with both the Chinese and a lot of your elements like ISIS and Al Qaeda. They are in cahoots with them. And it might be that if Al Qaeda or wanted to pull off something, if we had a war with China, that these drug cartels would just roll across the border. It's a good thing that Trump's putting military on the border. Maybe National Guard units need to go to the border. A lot of our military bases, like are not really, protected by anything other than just dog fence wire, and with some barbed wire on top. You'll find a gate where they got a deputy dog with a little pea shooter on his hip that checks badges for people coming in, but they don't have now. 9/11, oops, I said that word, that might get me in trouble. After that event, on Redstone Arsenal, they actually put some armored vehicles at the gate that had mall deuces. And, I thought, okay, now they're taking it serious, but that didn't last very long. So we know some of these military bases can take some steps, but they got a lot of weak points, and they're not, we call them forts, but they're not forts in the old-fashioned sense of an edifice, a brick, and, that with firing points all the way around it. They got a lot of open areas through which they could be hit, and people could go in and take stuff from them. If they use some of these drone-type resources I've alluded to previously, they could take out a lot of personnel. So there is a lot to be concerned. We're not prepared for an asymmetric war here at home on our home turf. And that is probably what all these sleeper cells have been set up to do. So that is the risk. There are plenty of peril, and the state that's so deep would love nothing more than total chaos. The House of Klaus would love nothing more than total chaos in this country. Now, all that said, one of the interesting things at the WEF, at the World Economic Forum in Davos, on the day one, they basically admitted that they had been defeated, that Trump had won. They are sniffing a new reality. The House of Klaus is cracking up. They are seeing that the people, and they've known this all along, but they thought they could still get away with the charades and pull it off on us. But people are getting fed up with where they're taking us. People don't want their dream of total control, of owning nothing and having no privacy, and being told to drink their soup, their chemical-laden, fake meats, and eating the bugs while they dine on caviar, telling us that we have to live in a 15-minute city, and at best we might get a tricycle to ride around whilst they fly around in private jets. That's their vision of the future. And, the people just don't want nothing to do with that. And fortunately, we still vote in most of these countries, and people are waking up. Look, in Canada, we're having, Trudeau is on his way out, so that's good news in Canada. So Canada has got a chance to, rise and do really well now that they're getting rid of, and they always accuse people on the conservative side of the spectrum of being Nazis and fascists and all that. But who is it that has been controlling our speech? Oh yeah, Trump is rolling that back. Good. So he's rolling back a lot of stuff. He's been very super active. So I've been skipping all over the place here. But going back to Mexico, the drug cartels pretty much rule there. And Trump has declared basically a national emergency on the border and in respect to the drug cartels. We may basically go to war with these cartels. Mexico is in a dilemma. Mexico has a young demographic of a lot of workers. Mexico could, if they quit dealing around with China, and if they quit their mess with all these drug cartels, and if they get their nose cleaned down there, Mexico could become a very wealthy nation. They could become a powerhouse, a manufacturing powerhouse. They could replace China just because they got the young workforce. We don't have that. So Trump's talking about all these tariffs and talking about bringing all this stuff back to the United States. We don't, shy of maybe Tesla, bots, Optimus Prime's building everything. We don't have the workforce. Just point blank, we don't have the workforce to be able to fully do that unless we find some way to cooperate with Mexico. Mexico could do it. If Mexico would put their right head on and work with the United States, Mexico could be one of the richest nations on earth. Mexico could have a renaissance, and that would be a good thing, to have a strong, prosperous nation on our southern border that's aligned with us. Would be a good thing for both countries, because for one, they would have immense prosperity, and so would we, because we could link it. That's where Trump needs to be aimed. If anybody's got an ear to Trump, you need to talk to him about that. So I know people that have talked to Trump. So this is something to look at. Mexico can be a source of hope, but the current leadership in Mexico is socialist, communist, basically, and they're heading in the wrong direction. If they could clean that up, just like Canada's going, and getting rid of Trudeau, Mexico could have enormous potential. But otherwise, right now, they have let the Chinese in. They've let all this stuff go across the southern border that has been killing 100,000 Americans a year. So something needs to change. What kind of slippers should I buy? Well, dancing slippers, Neil. Von Braun, after they landed on the moon, told people not to put their dancing slippers. They had a big party in the courthouse square of Huntsville, and he told people don't put up their dancing slippers yet. There was more to come. Well, that more to come is still yet to come, but it may be on the way because Trump just announced we're going to Mars. So, much to the cheer of Elon Musk. So there you are. So dancing slippers may be in order. You guys call everyone a socialist. Well, they call themselves socialist or communist. So what do you mean, you guys there, Ralph? What do you mean, you guys? We're just talking about, degrees of are you really truly free economically or not? Do you have freedoms? The more socialist a country gets, the more they find in order to maintain the system that's not working, they have to take away our freedoms, especially our freedoms of speech and assembly, the freedom to object to the oppressive systems they have to come up with to make their unworkable regimes stay in power. That's why everybody's always trying to escape those countries. You actually think we'll go to Mars? Well, that's a good question. It's not an easy thing to do. Elon is dedicated to it, and if he can keep up going and keep it up and keep going, he would get us there in some fashion. I don't think Mars is the best destination. I do think that the moon should be developed first, just to keep the Chinese putting a coil gun, a mass driver on the moon, which could basically raster scan the United States or any country they want to with explosive power that would just render us a desert as a whole nation. I mean, what you could do from the moon militarily is mind-boggling. We can't afford for them to be the only ones up there. And they're planning to have a moon base started by 2030. So we got to pay attention to this. We can't let China be the only ones up there. Meg Rising from Alaska. So Guys, it's very crucial that we not cede the high ground to China. So I think primarily for us, for military purposes, we need the moon. But the moon's also a key for resources for actual space development. The real vision of space, human space settlement, that I think is the best are the ones where you're in rotating space facilities, the O'Neill type space colonies, and that's a vision that Jeff Bezos is tuned into. So I think in that regard, Jeff Bezos is right. I thought Jeff Bezos was a little bit on the left side of the political spectrum, but maybe he's coming around. He seems to be aligning with Trump. So we'll see if that affects how the Washington Compost puts their crap out. So I'll do a similar video in the future. I'm going to call it Nukes and Roses about this opportunities and perils that we're facing right now. So there'll be a continuation of this discussion in this regard. Do you think there are bigger things living in the ocean? Some people think there's megalodon. The shark may still actually be alive because of some couple photographs taken. That was a ginormous shark that made, could have ate the great white for hors d'oeuvre. So I don't know. There's a good chance. It's a good chance. There's still a lot we don't know about the ocean. We need to know that there's giant squids. The oceans are huge and they're deep. There's a lot of potential with ocean water. I don't know why we're not taking better advantage of that and doing some seastead. My friend also seastead. Golden age, more like a golden setup. Well, it may be. We have opportunities, but Trump also needs some help and guidance. For example, now Peter Zion, he put out a video claiming, well, Trump's got blah blah talk, but he won't put in the electrical grid where he said to do all this industrialization. He just put out a video out. We've got to massively expand the electric grid, and there's truth to that. But he was suggesting maybe, and he didn't think Trump would do it. He didn't think Trump could do it, or Trump had the sense to do it. Of course, maybe that was his challenge to get his attention, so maybe he would do it. We do have infrastructure that we need to rebuild seriously. In the past, under previous administrations, they put out these $1 trillion infrastructure bills, and none of it went to infrastructure. It all went to their political cronies. It went back into their own pockets. We didn't see massive infrastructure being built with these $1 trillion bills. All we saw was our national debt go up. It was destructive to the country. Well, we do need infrastructure, and the power grid needs to be hardened. Now, Trump actually said something today which tells me he's smarter than Peter Zion. Peter Zion thought Trump wasn't smart enough to do this. Trump was talking about, getting AI going. He realizes AI requires a lot of energy, and he knows our grid's not sufficient for it. So he said that guys doing the AI, the data centers, need to put in basically not micro nukes, but in nuke power systems to run their centers. And he was saying it because he said the grid was not sufficient and the grid was not secure. The grid could go down. Trump knows this. Trump is the guy who signed the executive order saying that we wouldn't allow those Chinese components in the grid, which Biden rescinded on day one of his administration. A lot of that crap coming in the United States. So Trump knows we're at risk. He also knows what an EMP can do. Trump does know this stuff. He did try to get things going to make it, to get it fixed. Unfortunately, it turned out into a bunch of studies. We don't need a bunch of studies. There was a video that came out. What's the guy's name who does all those? Who gets some girl to talk to all these insiders in the government that and they spill the beans. What's that guy's name? Y'all probably know who I'm talking about. He's really good at this. And anyway, so I can't think of his name right now, but he had some guy getting interviewed today who's basically, or the video came out either today or yesterday, saying that this insider was saying, well, yeah, all we got to do to dissuade RFK and all these other guys who are trying to make change, he says, all we got to do is just propose to them that we'll do a study. We'll do a study on this. We'll do a study on it. And the whole tactic is to use the delay tactic to do nothing. The heck with the studies. There's no more time for studies. We don't need studies anymore. We need action. We know what to do. We know how to fix these things. Let's quit studying them and get something going. Let's go, Trump. JFK, MLK, yeah. So they're releasing that stuff. Hopefully it won't be heavily redacted. So we're kind of skipping all over the place here tonight. So, but that is a sign that Trump is really on this. We do need to invest in infrastructure, but we do need to go more microgrid. Microgrids are safer. They're more resilient because they're not requiring all those big, heavy transformers that are so easy to take out. We need to transform the whole country into microgrids if we can. We're going to need a lot more energy, and these small modular nuclear reactors are a lot safer than the big nuclear reactors. They're going to be designed where they won't go into meltdown. We need to go with breeder reactors, like some of those I've had on my channel and on my Galactic Grace channel, and use technology that can actually reprocess the nuclear fuel rods. A lot of people go, oh, well, we can't do all this. We got to get all our nuclear fuel from Russia. No, we don't. No, we don't. We might initially as we go into transition, but, you know, and of course that could be a blowback if we're having, you know, sanctioned trade war with Russia. But quite frankly, we need to be reprocessing all these nuclear fuel rods. They're a threat to our country. So why let them sit there and be a threat when we could actually mine them and use them productively for energy, something we really need, and then that would render them safe. So, you know, it's goofy that we've not been doing this. There are solutions to these problems. So for the energy problem, that's a big one. Reprocess that nuclear fuel. It gets rid of it and gives us energy at the same time. Yeah, that's a double win. How come we don't go for a double win? That's something we really need to do, and do it on the microgrid fashion. So these are things that we may be moving toward. But basically, Trump has declared an energy emergency. So hopefully, this hardening the grid and expanding the grid will be part of that. So let's hope that all these things happen. Why not use wind, solar, nuclear energy? It takes forever to build. No, not these small modular nuclear reactors. And in fact, Trump has said that him declaring an national emergency, he can approve them himself without having to go through the big regulatory, you know, multi-decade process. So they can be approved like zip. They're safe. So there's no reason to hamstring them with all the red tape that everything else requires. So this is an opportunity. This is out of the box. It's not how we've done nuclear power in the past. So these things could be done, and it could make a huge difference. And look, we got coal plants, and we've been shutting coal plants down. There's coal plants over here at St. John's, just east of me. There's coal plants in Joseph City, just northwest of me, and we're planning to shut all these coal plants down. Why? I remember as a kid here, and we had enough coal to last us 500 to 1,000 years. You know, spoil our energy needs, just coal. Coal can be cleaned up too. So, toward Chernobyl facilities in May 2015, it was amazing, but heartbreaking. That's true, Rick. That's yeah. The way we're doing nuclear power right now is got risk, but the biggest risk is the spent fuel rod pulls. What I'm talking about, let's take that darn spent fuel and use it, reprocess it, so it's not sitting around forever, posing a risk to us. I think that is what needs to be done. Nuclear is the most efficient form we have, aside from free energy. Well, that's another thing. So that's going to be a topic that I'm going to get into on my Galactic Grace channel. We'll start going down that road and talking about this kind of stuff. We'll start talking about these kind of technologies a little bit more over on Galactic Grace. I'm going to start with, I got a video with it. As soon as I can get in my studio in my house, which is going to be within a few days, I'm going to put out a video talking about, it's going to start, the first one in the series is going to be Army anti-gravity. The Army had an anti-gravity program. That's a fact. Then we're going to talk about risk of technology like that. And then we're going to talk about why maybe we're not seeing more of it than we're seeing. Actually, China may be ahead of us now in this area. So, well, thank you. Yeah, go subscribe to my Galactic Greg's channel. So we'll go into these topics, and we'll also talk about the Tim Burchett, however you say it, the Tennessee congressman is now claiming he's got inside information about UFO bases under the ocean. Something you probably heard Rex Bear talking about. So, yeah, things are getting interesting, whatever these bases are. But, which would also suggest that these things come from here, not out there. Maybe somewhere else here on Earth. Which is something else I had postulated on the Galactic Greg's channel. Whatever it is. So geothermal and Yellowstone probably a bad idea. Yeah, we don't want to wake up the monster. But there is a lot of geothermal opportunities available in the country. There are hot rocks down deep that could be tapped into. So geothermal is a good prospective power source for the future. And a lot of these deep oil wells may lend themselves to that as a second life for them. So there is a lot of potential. We may drill, get the oil out, and then turn around and use the geothermal energy that's down in the great depths. So what about that lady scientist that disappeared, was working on anti-gravity from Huntsville? Oh yeah, Ning Lee, I knew her. I'm going to talk about her. She's going to be a big topic in my next Galactic Greg's video. I knew Ning Lee. I started the Huntsville, Alabama L5 Society with Conrad Dannenberg back in 1983. I was the first president. It was my third chapter of the L5 Society, which later became the National Space Society. And we had Ning Lee was a member of our group. She actually came and attended our Halo rocket motor test fire. And some of my guys worked for Ning Lee, including Gene Young. And Gene Young went over to work for another little outfit that I was president of for a brief period of time called Transdimensional Technologies. So there's going to be some things I'll cover over there. It's not material for this channel, but you will be seeing some stuff on it. So check out my Galactic Greg channel. It's got more subscribers than my Swivelhead News, but a fair bit more. I think I got 5,000 over there. But I haven't produced hardly any videos. In fact, I have not done anything on that channel except a short of late, and it got demonetized. I didn't know that YouTube would demonetize you if you're not putting content on for a little period of time. Like I can only do so much. I'm working, I'm moving, building a tiny home. There's only so much I can do. Hey there, I appreciate that super chat there. 13X. Sir, you are my spirit animal. Well, thank you. I am your spirit animal. I might be an animal. Appreciate that. So this is the third super chat you've done in the live stream there, 13X. Salute to you. Thank you. And hopefully I'll be Galactic Greg's is older. Yeah, I did that. I started that channel before I started Swivelhead News. That was because I'm a space guy, really. So that was a natural for me. Now I put a fair bit of content on there at one time, but I just had to, I focus more on this channel just because I get more views over here. No problem. Old as dirt. Hey, we had a YouTube buddy known as Old as Dirt. Is he in the house? We got a YouTube buddy named Old as Dirt. Oh, let's see. There he is. Old as Dirt. He says, I'm not on an alternative device tonight, guys. I'm a bit slow. That's okay, Old as Dirt. All right, good to see you in the house. Chewie's in the house, very good. Cha-Cha's in the house, very good. Madam Gross. We got a lot of our Jason, of course. And All the Sun. Yeah, guys, my last name is All His Own. So, Alice Sun, all his own. So, anyway, there we are. Keith in Arizona. This is your neighbor here. Actually, a neighbor. So, weather morning. There you go. Chewy's our weather guy. Gandalf, Harry Potter. Well, that's mixing two different stories, right? Dumbledore was Harry Potter wizard, but I kind of like Gandalf a little better. Anyway, let's see. I had to go chase a raccoon off the top of my duck house. Oh wow, Chewy. Raccoons are little bandits for real. So, mask fits, right? Get the new Generalite. I don't know. Uncle Gandalf. So, getting back to it, we have a lot of opportunity right now because we looks like we're going to be exposing the stuff that's been hidden for a long time. It looks like the bureaucracy that's been stifling us and choking us is going to get whittled way down, maybe to some actual functional level. Bureaucracies metastasize and just keep growing. You might set up an agency and maybe had a good reason for it to start with, but after it fulfills the purpose for which it was set up, they just don't die. They just keep going and growing. They find other reasons to exist, just like a cancer cell. They just don't die. So now it's time to change that. The United States needs chemotherapy, basically. I read about the drone programs being run out of DARPA concerning stuff. Yeah, well, there's some big questions about what our side has. Big questions. I am from Indonesia. Hey, Dwicky, appreciate sending somebody here from Indonesia. What about that Malaysian aircraft that disappeared somewhere over Indonesia? MH, what was it, 370? If you watch Ashton Forbes, he's got some interesting information on that. So I highly encourage everybody to check that. What do you think about JFK and MLK? I think it's awesome. I just hope those files aren't redacted. They actually put out what we want to see. You either die a hero or live long enough to become a villain. Well, I hope I don't become a villain here. Anyway, and from London, so we got London in the house. We got Indonesia here. Very good. We got Ace Lee here from Singapore. But he's also been in Madison, Alabama, and Huntsville area, where I've lived so long in that area. Anna and not Z. I agree. Did you hear about Putin's offer to end the war? He wants Fauci. He wants Fauci, really. We got India in the house. That's good. Wow, we got quite a international crew here tonight. We like UK. You look like us. There you go. So, guys, the cool thing is, all over the world, people are waking up. They don't want no part of the House of Klaus. This includes in Europe. People are beginning to push back on that. And let's hope that Milei, Argentina, is leading the way. I mean, he got elected, and it was a fresh breath of air down there. And now we got Trump. We got Trudeau going bye-bye. And I don't know anybody crying over the Trudeau's stepping down. Greg, couldn't you sleep in your partially finished house? Well, I've got 3 laptops I'm heavily using here, and I couldn't set them up in there yet because I just have to be constantly moving everything around, and it's a pain to set stuff up. And I can't really set them up properly to do the kind of videos I'm going to do yet because I can't set up my docking station in the van here and operate it. So it's only a matter of days until I can do this. Just a matter of days. We're getting close. We painted the walls downstairs, and we just got to get the floor painted. Once the floor is painted and I can kind of set things in place, I'm in. I mean, it's got power. I got generators running. I've got a propane heater in there running. So I'm very, very, very close to being liberated from this van. Unfortunately, I think I'm spending the coldest weeks of the winter in the van because tonight it's getting down to 5 degrees here. And the rest of tomorrow night, it's going to be like 33. It's going to be freezing tomorrow night. And then no more single digits in the forecast, although it's going to be in the 20s, and I think it gets down to 18 or 17 in a night or two. But the rest of the forecast is looking pretty good. All things, Hey, John Taylor, how you doing? He's a neighbor. Anyway, let's see. One program uses drone swarm over population center. Yeah, these drone swarms are scary, guys. They are flat, scary, weird 1984, and it could be even weirder than that, Jason. It could even be weirder than that. Argentina's ARGT ETF is booming because of Malay. Malay is awesome. I just love the way he talks. He's got the fire for freedom. He understands it. He knows what went wrong in Argentina, and he had to go home. He used to go in and fix it. I love how he campaigned with a chainsaw. he was awesome. So there's hope. See, the hope is coming from the people, because the people are getting tired of being pushed around and told what to think and what to say. And, you know, in UK right now, you can be arrested for thought crimes, basically. This is pure 1984 stuff. You know, people have posted or reposted a meme on Facebook and been arrested for it. Yet someone else and gone to jail and spent more time than somebody else in the street that attacked people. Now, where's the justice in that? You know, I got a good buddy, a lawyer, who I've had on this channel and interviewed once, and Facebook took the video down, which is which really ticks me off, because there's more to that story than you can imagine. And there's a lot of irony to that. I'm not going to go into that right now. But anyway, Mike Siebert's his name. Mike, where was I going? I really lost my train of thought, because I got thinking about that video that we got took down and the irony of that. What Facebook said was false. And if you knew what happened to his daughter after that video, it's sad. Sad. But anyway, I don't know. I just lost my train of thought because I was thinking about his daughter. But Argentina, he watched Argentina turn almost communist. He did. But he's fixing it. And Malay is a good bass player? I don't know. We need a president like Malay. Oh, we got Brazil in the house. Yes. Would love to see Brazil turn away from socialism. That would be great. Fazioli. Hey, Dan Fazioli. I used to have a really good friend. One of my best friends was named Grazioli. Yeah, Italian. Yeah, Grazioli. Hey, Greg. Hey, oh, you might be from Canada if you're going to say hey. Are you Canadian? Anyway, I'm the Grazioli I knew. I met in Alaska. Anyway, the world don't need any more communists. You got that right. Communism has failed. And yet, there's so many people here in America that thinks that's the way to go. You know, they've been, brainwashed. And our public school system does not help. That's where we've got to come in and work on that. To make America great again, to have the golden era, we got to participate. And our level of participation is we've got to reach out to young people. We got to start talking to them. I did a lot of videos talking about the value of freedom and about the perils of socialism, the perils of communism, the perils of authoritarianism, the perils of big government. I've done quite a number of videos on these topics. You need to go back and find these and use that material to start talking to the young people. There's other people talk, so like Malay, just listen to an interview with Malay. Listen to his talking points. Listen to Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan was a great orator. He knew what was important in these terms. Now, Trump, Trump gets the job done. Trump's a businessman, but he doesn't communicate like Ronald Reagan did. He doesn't communicate like Malay does. But he just goes there and does what's got to be done. You're fired. He just cuts to the chase. You're fired. Well, he's firing a lot of people right now. We got The Apprentice on the national level now. And that's what's needed. They need to clean house and get rid of a lot of what's there. Anyway, anyway, I see some people there's like some trolls in here getting hit. Canada could do worse than being the 51st state. Well, that's true. That's true, madam. Being under Trudeau is definitely no fun and games. I mean, people in Canada were getting fed up. That's why the truckers had their little drive. They had their campaign, but they turned around and froze bank accounts. Like if you contributed $20 to help the truckers, they froze your bank account. See, these people on that side of the spectrum. They hate freedom of speech. They hate freedom of assembly. They don't want anything that challenges their suppositions, the things they claim, and yet they want to accuse the other side of being what they are in reality. So, what the House of Klaus was really pushing for, all this stuff that people were supporting from these different organizations really led to the road of the House of Klaus. And the House of Klaus is really, well, NAZIism is a form of socialism. It's a national socialism. They were just looking at it on an international level, internationalize it, globalizing it. So what we're talking about is a new form of high-tech feudalism. It's not what we want. Can't go wrong with chocolate milk. Okay, there you go. I've been on chocolate milk pretty hard tonight. Well, be careful there, Frazioli. There we go. Let's see. I love chocolate. I love ice cream, but I hate chocolate ice cream. Is that funny? We've already had the 51st state. It's inside Nevada. Inside Nevada. Interesting. Let's see. Baxter Churchill. I'm really glad Canada borders a somewhat similar quality country. There you go. So I take it you're Canadian there, Baxter. Keith says, making you Arizona State legal throne, 55G blue barrel, working for a few septic tank systems. All right, we'll have to talk about that. Yeah, I've got a few 55-gallon barrels out here. Good morning, Vietnam. Hey, Rodney, how you doing, buddy? We got Australia in the house, so we got a broad spectrum of international participation tonight. So the hope is, it's not make America great. The hope is to make the world great, to make humanity great again. And it can happen. It really can. This golden age of America can be the golden age of the world. Why not? Why not? So, rusty tracks and rusty roads. TCB friends say, hey, we got a super chat from 13X. What's your favorite whiskey bourbon? Well, I used to like Jack Daniels. I really can't drink it anymore because if I drink, I go into tachycardia the next day. I can't drink. I cannot even get a buzz. A shot of whiskey would put me in peril. But I used to love Jack. And I used to live real close to the distillery. Jack Daniels is brewed in Lynchburg, Tennessee, which is just up the road from where I lived. It'd be like me driving to Sholo from where I'm at now, for you locals here in Arizona. I mean, Jack Daniels Distillery is pretty close. And I used to always joke, they had the rocket fuel factory, Jack Daniels, just, in proximity to Huntsville, Alabama. But the funny thing is about Jack Daniels, it's brewed in a dry county. You can't buy Jack Daniels in that county, where Lynchburg is. I think the county is also called Lynchburg. It's the smallest county in Tennessee, but it's dry. Isn't that funny? But you can go to the downtown they have a little courthouse square. It's a little tiny there in Lynchburg. And it's, you can buy brownies made from Jack Daniels. And they're really good. Coke and Jack is perfect. I'm not talking Coda. All right. So, Cold as dirt. Hope you're doing well tonight. Been a while since I've seen you in your house. So, me time. What is that? What's me time? Revolutions. Anyway, so, hey, one of our channel subscribers, New, he was on Gary. He got called out by Gary French and I was been on the show. Hadn't seen New here tonight. Has anybody seen New? Anyway, so does that fungus really grow on everything? near the distilleries. I don't know, Baxter. I hadn't seen any fungus there. Gladvick is out. Yeah. Are you glad he's out of Doge? Well, he's going to be running for governor of Ohio, apparently. Bundaberg overproof rum. Meaning sleepy time. Okay, there you go, Revolutions. It's getting close here. Anyway, so let's kind of get back on the track here. Trump is making a lot of changes. He does need to make sure that we are putting in the infrastructure. He does need to make sure. Now, it's going to be, initially, we're going to have a high inflation rate because there will be shortages. As we put these tariffs on and we don't have the production capability up here, there will be some inflation from the tariffs themselves and be inflation due to shortages. But these things can be rectified. We got to get the manufacturing up here. And like I said, we should sit and build. You know, if I were Trump, I'd go straight to the president of Mexico and say, look, you know, you're going to have to get rid of these cartels, or I'm going to come in and get rid of them. And you could be, you know, Mexico will be the most prosperous nation in the world if you will cooperate. Otherwise, you're in trouble. And he's probably going to do that. He'll probably do that. He's also imposing 100% tariffs on all BRICS nations because they're out to destroy the dollar. So he's going to try to change that. I think we need back to old ways. As I can see, no power grid future coming. Yeah, the power grid is highly at risk. Highly at risk. So if you can afford to be off grid, do it. I'm off grid. Right now I'm running on generators. I have solar panels. I'm planning to build solar arrays here. Generators are no way to go. Gasoline is very expensive for power. Very expensive. But I am off grid. But I am relying on the grid to get gasoline. So that's no good. So I got to get my solar going, maybe some wind. 50-cent Army attacks in the mods. Well, it looks like the mods are judo taking care of them pretty fast. So yeah, you come in this channel as a mod. If you're from the 50-cent Army, you're going to get dispatched fast by my mods. Trump needs to watch the Fed very carefully. Yes, that's what I was alluding to earlier. They're trying to trip him up. They're trying to set up a situation that cause the stock market crash, basically. That's what that boils down. I didn't finish what I was saying, but they're trying to cause the stock market crash and inflation. But some of their tactics are deflationary. It may be the deflationary tactics will balance out some of the inflationary pressures. Like I said, there will be some inflationary pressures, but you know, you might be paying a little bit more for some stuff, goods you're buying, but you'll be paying less in taxes. And you got to consider this junk we're buying has been subsidizing the Chinese military buildup. We should have never shipped all our stuff offshore to China. You know, we had the philosophy, and actually at the time I thought it was a good philosophy that if we become more and more interdependent, the chances for war would go down. But China had something entirely different in mind, just the opposite. So, you know, it's because you can't trust a communist. You can't negotiate with a communist because they got their own agenda and they will lie to you and tell you one thing, lie and smile and shake their hands the whole time they got that knife behind their back that they're willing and ready to stab you with. So I found a copycat. A copycat of me? Who's copying me? Somebody's actually copying me, or there's someone like me there. Let's see. I can read your name here. Viscovian Archive. Hold on, let me get the name. Does he actually copy me? Good Lord. If somebody's trying to copy me, they're going to have to be very deft because I'm liable to change, you know, a lot of things up here. This channel may turn into a homestead, a high desert homesteading channel. I may put all this news, you know, the intention is to put all this news on Swivelhead News and talk space stuff over on Galactic Greg's. They're streaming right now. Asgard, off-topic show. That's the name is going by Asgard. Well, Asgard is Nordic. You know, that's our Nordic heaven. Doing the same thing. Wait, he's doing the same thing. He's doing exactly what I'm doing? Are you kidding me? Can't be as cool. Yeah, hey, no copycat can be as cool as me. Exactly. Besides, there's only one Odin alive at any one time. All right, guys. So, same ideology. Is he restreaming me? Hey, Billy Wayne. Or all right. So somebody can find this guy and find some links to him. And some of you that's mods that's got my email, send me an email on this. Greg@greengregs.com. But don't everybody just send me a bunch of email. That's my business email. It's not for chatting. Dude is crazy right now. Oh, a lot of crazy people out there. There's a lot of channels out there that just sky's always falling. The nukes are about to be launched any second now, constantly. The sky's falling. Every day the sky's falling. That's crazy. There is a lot of crazy talk out there, and these channels get more viewers than me. So people really like that crazy talk. So sorry about that, guys. Sometimes we are close. We do have close calls. Biden actually thought that Russia was going to nuke the United States or nuke Europe back at one point during the Ukrainian war. He actually thought that. But yeah, he kept pushing and poking a bear. I was watching the Andy Ross Stirling engine videos. Oh, Stirling engines are cool. Outputs 300 watts continuously, maybe. Ease the bill. Yeah, I like the Stirling engines. They're awesome. Similar to your topics, Greg, but not copying. Okay, that's good to know. So this guy's Asgard? What's this guy? Who is he there? Heard of a recent movie homes. Yeah, I've heard of that. I think it was up in Sholo. Is it still playing up there, Keith? I like to go see it, but I'm not, I don't go to the theater by myself. I like to have somebody to go with. I don't usually go by myself. And I've just been really too busy to go to movies right now, but that's one I'd like to see if it's still up there. Anywho, guys, so we talked about Mexico. Let's talk about Iran. Mexico could be a very prosperous nation if they would shake off their ties to China and the drug cartels and align with the United States. Extremely prosperous. New Days is in the house. Oh, very good. So, morning, New Days. So, but right now, Mexico's a problem. But Mexico could be a great resource for the United States, and vice versa. If Mexico could prosper unbelievably if they would just clean their noses there. So, we were talking about, is this Jimmy Carter? No, I'm not Jimmy Carter. I know a guy named Jimmy Carter. He was a truck driver. I've been to the high school where Jimmy Carter went to high school in Great Plains. I did a video from there. Y'all remember cartels run Mexico and Venezuela? They did. Well, Venezuela, the communist country, the leader there did more than anything to run the country. So, show me a prosperous communist country. You can't. Not really. The government now has the authority to remove the cartels by force. Though this government, yes, that's good, because we've declared a national emergency. Should have been done a long time ago. They shouldn't have been allowed in the first place. That's the problem. Now we got sleeper cells and God knows what here in this country. All potential mayhem could break loose at any time. We got military ammunition being transited across the United States. Fortunately, some of it's been intercepted. Let's hope we've got most of it, but it's usually the tip of the iceberg. They have a lot of oil. Yeah, isn't that amazing? Vinny? Are you my cousin, Vinny? Isn't it? Yeah, there's a movie here in the United States called My Cousin Vinny, based in Alabama. That's funny. Anyway, so, guys, lots of cousins. Hello, cousin Vinny. Rodney knows what I'm talking about. Vinny's laughing. Okay, good. Yeah, my favorite quote in there is, "How long does it take to cook a grit?" Let's see. They can now go, yeah, that's good. They need to go after the cartels. Absolutely. It's time to get them out of this country. It's time to get the fentanyl out of this country. It's time to clean that stuff up. See, one of the problems is a lot of people that would be our workforce, because, suddenly they got run out of jobs. They didn't have any work. They didn't have much hope. They turn to drugs. You take away hope, people turn to dope. Now, then after hooked on dope, can they be pulled out of that and turned into working, productive citizens again? A lot of them can't. A lot of them can't. A lot of lives have been ruined by these drugs. You know, we're not just talking about people that are pushing daisies. It's wrecked people. It's wrecked a lot of people. And they'll never probably fully recover from it, but there are some, I do know some people that have pulled their lives out of that and have been sober for some time and are real proud of that. Let's hope they can stay that way. We need a workforce in this country. And a lot of the people that would be our workforce has fallen over into that mess. So let's hope that with hope we can turn that around. But you know, it's got to be up to us that understand these things to spread this message. And that's really one of my key messages tonight. If you want to have a golden age in America and in other countries, that's how you get there. You got to use hope. You know, what other prepper channels out here talking about hope? All the rest of them are either just sky's falling. You know, it's you know, any second now it's all doom and gloom. It's not all doom and gloom. You know, we have to prep and pray and hope for a better day, but we can help make it a better day ourselves, because they ain't gonna do it. There is no they. We is they. But what I've told you guys from way back, and now we're seeing the truth in it. I've always said there's more of us than there is of them. And people woke up and voted the bums out. That's what's needed. If we can do this peacefully, that's the best way. We need to avoid civil war. I'm thinking Delta, CIA, NSA versus the cartels. There you go. Delta forces. Yeah, they were based primarily in Fort Bragg. You know, a lot of it was the Green Berets. I used to be right next door to that unit. I've seen videos of Philly. It breaks my heart. Oh yeah, talking about these streets where everybody's just standing around, hunched over, destroyed by drugs. Destroyed. So many people are destroyed. And it's not just them. They're all over the country. That's the worst. Zombies, yeah, that is the real zombie apocalypse. It's caused by drugs, and they're all over the United States. And you know, a lot of them can't hold a regular job. Let's hope they get off the drugs and get some hope. I mean, they could have, if they can get off the drugs and clean their lives up, they could have homes, jobs, family, and you know, a respectable life. Let's hope that they get attracted to that, other than living in misery, having to worry about getting arrested or dying from some OD. You know, a lot of these are parents that don't even have their kids. They gave their kids up to their parents. You got grandparents raising kids because the kids are doing dope. I know some of these people. I've seen them, and it's pathetic what's happening. It's not good for their kids. So this needs to be turned around. Let's hope that all that turns around. They can't hold themselves upright. Yeah, those that get really bad at that stuff, they can't. They've been standing up, taking these drugs, their backs are warped, their muscles are drawn up. They're in a mess. Some of them are too far gone. Some of them are just too far gone. It's sad. All the people got to do is look at these streets and look at these people and think, what is it about that you want that in your life just so you can have some cheap thrill? The dopamine of the drugs. They say it's like you're some stadium level of super happiness, but it's all delusion. It's all delusion, and people try to get this feeling back every time they want to do a hit on something, but it's sad. They're destroying themselves. You can't love yourself if you're willing to destroy yourself for a cheap high. Really and truly. What are you doing to your family? What are you doing, especially those that have kids? It's horrible what these people are doing to society in general by doing this to themselves. Information on doomsday. Well, maybe doomsday is being postponed. Although, guys, it could happen anytime. China and the United States could be at war. We could be at war with Iran. the sleeper cells could literally still bring this country to its knees, take out the power grid, and it's done. I mean, we are at risk. We're in peril. And I'm not going to back off on that one because that is a fact. We are still in peril because we got these sleeper cells in this country. Because there's countries that don't love us that have EMP super weapons. We need to deal with those countries on the national level so they're not so tempted to use that stuff or activate their sleeper cells. Some of these sleeper cells belong to T groups, which don't care about national politics. They got some warped ideology that, if they do great damage and harm here, they're going to go into the afterlife and have 72 virgins. Or 72 raisins, whatever it is. I can't put up with, I never could put up more than one woman at a time. How in the world would if some guy thinks he's going to live with 72 women, all of them virgins, which means they'll always be virgins, which means they're not getting nothing. And, what kind of a spiritual universe is that? A very carnal spiritual universe. A very carnal heaven. There's just some weird things about all this. Some really weird stuff. But anyway, America is under the belief that the EJT will fix everything, but there's so much corruption in the streets that there isn't enough police to flatten the curve. A broader patrol officer, Border Patrol was taken out in Vermont. That's true, Arnold. There's no human savior. No human is going to be a savior. But Donald Trump, hopefully, is making a change. We sorely need change in this country. We sorely need to get rid of the deep state. That was a typo in the Quran. Should have read Sturgeon's. I've heard that there was some misinterpretation of that part of the Quran. Look, I've had a lot of friends that are Muslim, and some good people that are Muslim. So don't, it's, the problem is that when people take a religion and twist it to use it for their own benefit or use it for radicalization to prompt people to do heinous things, that is uncalled for. So, 0 Watt New Days, virgin goats. That's it. That's it. Oh my gosh. But you headbutting, right? The extremists of all stripes, that's true. And that's a problem. That's a problem. We don't need extremists. I had a Muslim co-worker that told me a funny joke, I dare not repeat it here, or I'd be accused of being racist or anti-Muslim, even though I was told this joke by a Muslim. I don't know. Maybe I can do it on Rumble or something. I'm not going to go down that road here. So, there's extremists of all stripes. My main study buddy in college was an Iranian kid. Brilliant guy. He would always try to convert me to Islam. And so I've had a Cuban mate who was Muslim tried to convert me to Islam. In fact, my, let's see here. New Days. All right, so Vinny's laughing. My cousin Vinny's laughing. 72 camels, that might be it. I like the goats better. It will take 3 generations before things straighten out if all the laws are enforced. It may take a while. Let's hope not 3 generations, but it could take a while. But look, guys, we got to start it. But hard men create good times, and good times breed weak men, and weak men create hard times. Well, we're in some hard times, and we had a weak president. We got men are told they can't be men. Testosterone is like almost illegal. But also all these chemicals that are in our food and in our environment greatly diminish testosterone, both humans and animals. So it's causing a lot of problems. And that's one reason you ought to be growing your own food and growing stuff organically and not using all this crap out of the stores, so you not got all this gender bender and toxic chemicals in all your food. You know, if you look at the back of a can, you can't pronounce the ingredients. Why do you want to put that stuff in? Vegas is in the house. Okay, George, let's see Vegas in the house. So that all-seeing guy, I believe they are called. Oh, what are we talking about here? Anyway, so guys, let's get back to Iran now. The Iranian people don't want the government of the Ayatollahs. They don't want nothing to do with it. They're tired of it. They're sick of it. The government's failed them, and they're just sick of it. And the Ayatollah knows that his population is restless. That, you know, the biggest threat to him is from internal. Iran is a huge country, very mountainous, huge military, all kind of tunnels. Any thought that we would go in there and just invade them is nuts. Yet, if we just backed off and gave it time, the people in Iran will take care of the Ayatollahs. It'll come to an end. Iran could be a very prosperous, good country. They were very Western before the Ayatollahs took over. And the young people there still want to they love the West, and they love, you know, Western culture in a lot of ways. The Iran could be a very good, prosperous country, and even a good ally if they just get rid of the Ayatollahs. So, after 22 years in the Marine Corps, I know all about them. Okay. Yeah, I've known quite a few. So, the Ayatollahs are a problem, and the people of Iran know that. So if we could just find a way not to get engaged in war, or if we did, be very selective just against the government there, and do it in such a way that it actually liberates the people, then we might be going somewhere. Now, it turns out that it said that Netanyahu's already planning to launch an attack. He's already planning to do it, and Trump will probably endorse it. And Trump definitely won't go against Netanyahu if he decides to do that. Now that the Hamas has been cleared out, and for the most part, although they're still actually existing, I'm probably going to have a resurgence. And Hezbollah has been cleared out, and because the peace treaty in Hamas, the Houthis are kind of calming down. It kind of is clearing the slate for Israel to launch an attack on Iran. Iran knows that. And the Ayatollah actually has offered a peace deal. He says, hey, I will stop my nuclear program. So he is trying to avert this attack. Does that mean he'll really stop this program? Will he allow the inspectors to get in there to verify all this stuff? They're so close, it probably doesn't matter. They could have nukes in days if they don't need to have them. And they've probably got enough tunnels and stuff they could hide anything they want to at this point. But if the Ayatollah would kind of back off a little bit, it might give us a little reprieve that maybe we could avert a war there. And in time, the people in Iran, well, they'll overthrow that mess. Let's hope we can go down that road. And if that is the path taken, maybe those sleeper cells that the Iranian Revolutionary Guard has here in America won't be activated. See, there's several sets of sleeper cells in this country, unfortunately. There is the ISIS sleeper cells. There are sleeper cells that are associated with the, I don't call them Mujahideen, the older name, the Taliban. There are and those are close, but they're not exactly the same thing. Now you got to remember, ISIS and the, as far as I know, the Taliban are Sunni Muslim. The ISIS definitely is Sunni Muslim. The Iranian sleeper cells are Shia. They're very different groups, very different sects. We have Chinese sleeper cells in this country, and maybe Russian sleeper cells in this country. There is, drug cartels. They're terrorist groups. They've been properly categorized by Trump. So we have a lot of potential for mayhem, And, Trump hasn't had time to rebuild everything. So we're still a little bit weak thanks to the previous president. Trump is moving things in the right direction in some of these areas, but we're vulnerable right now. We're vulnerable because we've allowed China to infiltrate so much stuff in this country, whether their software, their hacks, potential sleeper cells, biolabs. Hopefully we can root all this stuff out before trouble comes. That's my hope. Busy troll day. Yeah, there's been a lot of trolls in the house, but guess what? You mods, take care of them. Trolls don't survive in this channel. I guess some of these trolls, maybe the G's 50-cent army, but some of them might be, just left-leaning people who don't like the idea of the title of this video being America's Golden Age. It's not just about America, it's about the world. This dude looks like definitely gets his cheeks clapped. Who's that, me? I've been on vacation, haven't checked my email. Okay, New Days. Hope you are you of Nordic heritage? Yes, absolutely. Over 50% Nordic ancestral wise. Over 50, maybe. I may be close to 100%. I know I'm over 50%. So yeah, Mod, you're doing a good job. Appreciate that. So, all right. We've talked about Iran. We've talked about Mexico. We've talked about China. And we talked about America. We talked about Europe, Canada. There's hope now, guys. There's hope. There's always hope. As long as you got breath in your lungs, you got hope. I've always said there's more of us than there is of them. That don't mean you won't have mayhem. That don't mean that people won't do bad things. There's always going to be people out there doing heinous bad things. Always. Those are just heinous bad people in the world. There are people that are just psychopaths, sociopaths. There are people who've been sucked into some religious ideology. This whole thing where they've taught America's bad in our schools. This whole thing where they've taught people to hate America. That is going to cause us a lot of problems. This teaching that some people have taught that Trump's going to be a dictator and blah, 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 blah. And there's actually, a lot of people out there putting out a lot of fear, claiming he's going to do heinous things that he's not going to do. But some people are really afraid of that. So we've got to talk people down from a lot of these crazy notions and get things on a saner level. Trump was elected by a majority popular vote. So, and people that want to get rid of the House of Klaus ilk around the world are probably going to vote all these folks out. So hopefully we can see the world turn over a new leaf and we can get away from this choking, stifling stakeholder capitalism that is taught by Klaus Schwab, which is really something else. There's another word for that. This government private partnership business, guys. It's where the government's picking favorites. That's not capitalism. It's not. We've not been capitalist country in a long time, but we need to go back to more pure capitalism. As long as Puckhead Trudeau is around, Canada, hope is like winning a lottery. Oh Lord. Well, let's hope he does actually step down, or y'all get rid of him in some fashion. Down under, you got an instant 20 years non-parole for lighting fires. Yeah, y'all have had a lot of fire problems down there. Well, LA's got a lot of fire problems right now. And Dr. Fook, I don't know what you said that. His first term was amazing. Life was so much better. I had faith in him to turn this country around. Let's hope he does. His first term, he was hamstrung by a Democratic Congress for 4 years. They went after him, tried to destroy him for 4 years. Impeaching him left and right, even impeaching him for doing his own job, what he should have been doing, like his investigation into things going on in Ukraine. He was in his job, and impeached him for it. Yes. Oh Lord, this mess they got away with. So what's happened is these people have shown their true colors now. Tucker Carlson once said, "How can a party that hates America run America?" Well, we got the answer straight in the ground. Anyway, Wheelchair user 13. How you doing, wheelchair user? He said, "What is the name of the gear that you turn once, but other bit turns 2, 3, 4 times as fast? Many things." Oh, well, gearboxes. You just change the ratios of the gears. You got a big gear and you're turning it, and the spinning smaller wheels are going to turn a lot faster. So that's the name of the gear. Planetary gears? Oh, that's what you get in the rear end of a car. So I'm not sure what you're asking. So Trump is a genius businessman. He sure has helped us more than a few days. But yeah, what he's done in this last few days is amazing. Absolutely. He's just been barely on the job, and he's really shaking the tree hard. Let's hope he shakes it hard enough that the tree don't take him out. The deep state nobody went and said that word. Yeah, I'm probably going to be in trouble on this video. So good thing I'm getting some super chats. Hope this video in my channel. Now, so the government's not going to be telling social media what kind of content's allowed on them anymore. But YouTube it's run by Google, and Google is very far left on the political spectrum. So I don't think YouTube's going to change anything. Not anytime soon. Not unless they just get so much competition from some other platform that they can't stand it. They have to surrender. That may be the hope. And that might happen if Elon were to buy TikTok. So, sorry I'm late. Well, how you doing there? Michelle is in the house. Good to see you, Michelle. YouTube is sensitively liberal. Yeah, extremely. Trump had 4 years for Perils by EO works for me. Okay, so yeah, Trump is he was he saw first he just didn't believe or understand the power of the bureaucracies. He went in to drain the swamp. He didn't realize just how fetid the swamp was, how difficult it was. And he wasn't 100% sure of it. He didn't know who to pick for some of his department chairs and blah, 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 blah. But after being relentlessly attacked the whole first 4 years he served, 4 years after he was out, they tried to destroy him. And they failed. And now he's back. Now he knows the game and he wants to end it. So probably that 4 years in the middle was rough on him, but it's probably a good thing for America because he's going to go in and clean house. Hey, Michelle, thank you for sharing that site. I will check there. That's the donate button site. When she shares it, she's usually put in a super chat, so I'll just thank her in advance because she's often done that, and I can't check them while I'm online with my phone. So I trust that there'll be something popping up there. But whether or not, she's gave me any. So thank you, Michelle, for sharing that and for all the support you've given me for all this time. I love the new Doge clock. There you go. Hey, man, it's time to clean house. And, look, guys, we can't afford to operate the way we've been operating. The wheel's going to fall off our train if we keep spending money and going further in debt. We got to stop it. And the government is over bloated. So we definitely can stop. We have no choice. We have to do it. Trump kind of got a 4-year vacation, though, to regroup and plan. Well, he was regrouping and planning, but it was a rough vacation because they tried to destroy him for 4 solid years. Actually, 8 years. If Dr. Death walks, DJT is done. I don't think that's going to mean he's done, but, he shouldn't be walking out of all the mess he's caused. But, that's another topic. I got to be careful what I say because this platform will knock me out if I'm not careful with that topic. But, we know. That doctor, whose name rhymes with an ouchie. So the world needs to thank Trump for stopping Hillary in 2016. Oh, my God, yes. Oh, my gosh, yes. Hillary was heck bent on World War III with Russia. She really was. And probably saved the whole world from nuclear holocaust. Probably did. He didn't do anything else, he did that. Hand him over to Putin, I'd be for that. I would be all for that. Let's extradite him to Russia. That would be interesting. Oh, Putin, you want him? You got him. He's yours. He's yours. All seeing guy, Trump has learned a lot since his last 4 years. Amen. Crash course in spotting traitors. Oh, yeah. That's why he's picked a lot of the people that is just blowing the minds of that big bureaucracy, the big pharma. They are just. Imagine how big pharma felt when they saw what RFK has been appointed to do. They big agri, big pharma. They're all in just they're having fits. They're just beside themselves. But this is dangerous because you're dealing with a lot of empires that have been built over decades and a lot of money, a lot of ill-gotten money. So it's dangerous when you take that kind of stuff on, but it's got to be done. Penny says, I learned from my grandparents to have respect and good principles, but everything is so messed up. Sometimes I feel lonely in the middle of this new generation. I hope the world will get better soon. That's what we're talking about. And a lot of it's going to be up to us, guys. Get that step away from... Got to step away from... Okay, Old Dirt, appreciate you taking care of some of the patrols that come in here tonight. So, that golden age... Hey, New. That golden age is wonderful. Just got my first backhoe at midnight. You got your backhoe. New. Were you the new that was called out by Gary Frenchy tonight on Next News Network? I think you got a shout out tonight. By none less than Gary Frenchy. Anyway, you do, yeah. Dirty Wizard, homeless Santa. Are you a homeless Santa? Or I'm pretty close to that. But I am building a new home here. I've been living in a van for some time. Anyway, all right. So, but let's see what New comes back. See if New is the guy that got shouted out by Gary Frenchy. I'm curious to know. Hi, I'm ancient, but just 67-year-old child in this incarnation. There you go. Well, I'm soon to be a 65-year-old child. How can anybody be for war? You got to be almost sociopathic to be a politician. So that's a scary thing. It's about power, money, greed. Nobody should be for war. Nobody should be for war. Yet they incite people. They radicalize and incite people. And there's that old, everything is their fault. So if we just take care of them, we'll all be better off. So it's anybody that's the difference between people will rise to power and make a lot of money for playing against other people. So that's what happens. Nini mama. So anyway, guys. So you still hadn't told me, Nini, were you the guy that Gary Frenchy called out today? So I'm interested to know. Of course, you don't have to tell me, but it's good to see some of our people that come on our channel here regularly getting shouted out in other channels. What's new? So, and the what takeover? What is that? I can't see what that symbol is. Let's see. Yeah, we're going to have chaos. Gary French is cool. I was there. All right, good. You did get a shout out. You got a shout. I thought so. Yeah, Gary French is cool. I agree. Let's see. Arnold says, I know Michelle and the GG gets set up in the house. He can't send notifications from my cell phone. Oh, yeah, I'm limited to what I can do on here. Very limited what I can do here on the cell phone. But I'll be in the house really soon, and I'll be able to operate a lot smoother once that's going. Multiplier gear that use on water wheels that make more power from one spin. Well, you probably have the same amount of power. It's just RPMs where they're, A slow, at the same power level, a slow rotation is more torque. Okay, so what are you looking for? Torque or you got, so what are you looking for? Long warrior. So the bottom line is a lot of things are changing. We have a new day in the United States. Trump is out to make changes like no president we've seen since 1913, over 100 years. So let's hope that we can, the United States was very successful for 1913. Very successful. Before we had the income tax, before we had the IRS, before we had, in fact, it was the best economic growth we ever had. Before we had Fed. One thing the thing that Andrew Jackson claimed his greatest accomplishment was he got rid of the National Bank. In 1913, they figured out a way to sneak it back in on us. So they didn't call it National Bank, they called it Federal Reserve. But, they figured out that they met at Jekyll Island and figured out a way to reimpose that mess on us. So let's hope we get rid of it. Hey, oldest dirt, glad to see you back. I love all my colored brothers. Well, ditto that, absolutely. Better than Pinball's Freddy Krueger hat. Oh, you got a Freddy Krueger hat? Pinball does. Anyway, all right, have a good night. By the year 2525, if Greg is in the house, we may find the year 2335. Man is still alive. In the year 2525. I love that. So I never get Discord going. If I gotta figure out how to fly it, then who knows? We might do some music and stuff over there we can't do over here. The color brother here. All right, very good. Select you, color brother. Welcome in the house. I have a daughter of color. So yes, indeed, I love her intensely. So we got somebody putting some text in. Was that Indian? I can't read it. No, that's not Chinese. Might be Korean. It looks more Korean. That's what it looks like. Korean. Kitty sleeping? Yuck. Absolutely. Here we go. Here's a trying to turn the camera around. Kitty is asleep. Korea. That's what I thought. Look Korean. That's what I said. Look Korean. Very good. Korea in the house. We got a lot of people in the house. Yes, Korean. Yeah, we had a strong Korean community in Huntsville area. My oldest two kids grew up when I was going to college and living off-campus student housing. Their best friends were Korean. Hosan and Young, I believe was their names. So there was a boy and a girl, brother and a sister, who were the same ages as my son and daughter, and they were best friends. I want to tell you something. The Koreans studied a lot. Those kids had to do. Their parents really made them work and study. That's one thing you will find a lot of foreigners, more so than Americans. Gigi, did you check your emails recently? You sent me an email? What email, Arnold? Anyway, search this thing, you're like an old wizard. I might be Lone Warrior. Do you know Korean language? No, I don't know the Korean language. Like I said, my kids, their best friends growing up were Korean. So just letting you know that. They were two good kids. In fact, they still communicate, and I'm Facebook friends with them. Hadn't seen anything from them in a long time, though. Maybe one day I'll go to Korea. My older brother, who passed away, served in Korea, went in his army for a year or two. He called it cold rear because it was so cold over there. But I did not know the Korean language. Anyway, so I have a lot of respect for Koreans. South Korea is an amazing country. See, all you got to do is look at Korea and see the difference between freedom and capitalism and communism. If you look at North Korea, its satellite photograph says dark. If you look at South Korea, it's bright. And there's your answer. That's the difference. So all you got to do is just look at the map there. So you have a best friend. I have a number of best friends. I don't have one. I've got a number of people I consider among my clique of best friends. So, and one of them comes in the chat room here sometimes, Tim Pickens. So we may, and I've actually got some video of Tim. I've been planning to post on Galactic Grades last spring where I was soldering back the old rocket motor test stand that I had. And I did a deal with him on that. And I also had another good friend bought the DCX rocket. I'm planning to do a video on that too, or a series on it. Just hadn't had time to produce them. No, I don't hit no crack pipe. Don't do no drugs. Thank you, Lone Warrior. No Hitler here. So, I believe in freedom. I believe in freedom. In fact, I started Freedom Restoration Foundation. Go to freedomrestorationfoundation.org. Look up the group on Facebook. Join it. Yeah, trolls. English difficult. Well, you're trying. I'm glad you're here. I'm really glad you're here. Why am I watching an old man in the bed? It's because it's cold here. It's 5 degrees outside, and I'm living in a van. I'm trying to tell you guys what's going down. So if you want to watch that, fine. If you don't, bye-bye. So that's it. But I am here in a van. I'm a man in a van down by the river. Except there's no river out here in the desert. It's a wash. You know, there is a wash just a little bit west of me here that borders my property. I am a prepper. I'm a homesteader. And I'm bringing you prepper news right now. And I'm bringing you some hope, something you don't usually hear on these channels. Yeah, we don't do vulgar language here. There you go, Arnold. That's the low tonight here. It's 5 degrees. So I got to stay warm. I'm challenged in this van to keep it warm. And so, you know, I'm living in a van during the hardest part. You know, you got to sometimes take a little pain. You got to make a little sacrifice to get your goals. There's nothing wrong with that. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm making some sacrifice, but if I pull through this, I'll be way ahead of the game. If the grid goes down, hopefully I'll be living totally off grid with my solar power here in a few weeks. Right now I'm off grid with generators. That's still relying on grid to pump gas, right? Not a good situation. Plus gas is very expensive. Thank you for sharing that link. Oh yeah, I clicked on this video as if I were going to do some advertising. Guys, with everything going down, like I said, we do have risk from all these sleeper cells here in this country. We do have risk. There's a potential war with China, potential war with Iran. But there's hopes in these areas too. So do consider your long-term food storage and your water preps. I did a video talking about many ways to purify and sanitize water. Now, it is two different things. Some people get confused about that. But if you, the water is the most vital thing. You can get water filters. If you go to prepwithgreg.com, it will take you to my patient supply. They do have water filtration stuff there. You can go to Walmart and buy it. You know, whatever you got to do. I've showed you how to make them homemade. But, you know, get your water purification, sanitation in order. Then food. Grow your own food. That's the most important thing you do. But in the meantime, you need, if you can buy some food storage to hedge you over, you can get, right now if you go to prepwithgreg.com, I think they got some specials running there on the 25-year long-term storage food. And I think they're about to raise prices, so it might be a good time to check it out. Yeah, when the grid goes down, that's really it. I mean, it's just too vulnerable. There's too many things that can bring it down. The sun can bring the grid down. You know, we've not hardened the grid. I've been at, you know, chaired 2 power grid defense conferences. I've been trying for a long time to get the grid hardened, but the power companies have been fighting us on this because they didn't want to spend any money. Or maybe they just didn't care. Or maybe bringing the grid down was the plan all along. Because there's those that would like to do our society in. So Trump knows that the grid's vulnerable. So hopefully he can get something done about it. But we're going to be pushing this. But in the meantime, it takes time to do that. It takes a lot of time to get the grid fixed. So you better be prepared for it to go down. And that's also why you might want to get gold in a means that you can barter it easily, small amounts of gold. And one of the best ways to do that is to get gold you can fold and put in your wallet. And that's gold backs. You can get those from defythegrid.com. You can also just buy gold coins, bullion. You can get silver coin, bullion, the rounds, or you can get platinum. Defy the Grid. You get 1% off if you use the discount code Green Gregs. Use Green Gregs and get 1% off. That's a real good deal. But for growing your food, you want organic seeds. You want heirloom seeds. True Leaf Market and Eden Brothers both have that. So I got a lot of links for that in several of my videos. A lot of times I don't post them when I'm doing a video like this late at night. But New Days is good to post the links in the chat here. And that's what she's doing. She's showing the gold backs there. I don't know why out in Arizona much colder. Surprise. Northern Arizona here, and Keith knows this, it's cold at night up here. It's not anything like Phoenix or Tucson. I've decided to be optimistic and jacked. That's good in you. The new golden age, why not? I always hope for the best, but prepare for the worst. Hope for the best and prepare for the worst. Wait, isn't he supposed to be, I don't know what you're talking about there in episode 6 or what? Ian Smiley, I'm in New Brunswick, Canada, thinking about building a root cellar. That would be a good thing to do. That would be an awesome thing to do. Yeah, I don't know what y'all talking about. I don't follow these TV movies and shows. Oh, Harry Potter. Snowing in northern Florida. Yeah, wasn't that something? Northern Florida got snow. Isn't that something? Global warming's going to freeze us to death. Alrighty, guys. So, Northern Girl's in the house. So good to see you, Northern Girl. So, guys, we need to go now. We've been on here for almost 2 hours. Holy smoke. We're way too long. 8 degrees F in Vermont. -7 last night. Wow. Yeah, we got down to -1 here. Florida has more snow than New Days, who's up in Maine. Yeah, that's funny. Stuff happens like that sometimes. Here's a question. Say grid goes down and you get your Starlink out to use it. Probably won't work. Well, if they do an EMP and take out the satellites, it won't work. It depends. If it's just if it's localized attacks, our grid could be brought down without taking out the satellite network. If that's the case, and if I've got off-grid power, I could still be operable. I could still be, but the servers that run YouTube may be down. Even the servers that Starlink is operating off of may be down. I don't know. Now, if Trump gets his way and they all use small modular nukes to run these things, then it can still be operable. Now, Trump understands this stuff. So, that's the question. Greg, I see a station with 63F pretty close to you. Kind of chilly. Yeah, that's probably what it is right now. It's supposed to go down to 5 tonight. And it's usually coldest right when the sun comes up. So, and it may get, that's what's ready for snowflake. It may get colder right here where I'm at. I don't have a temperature weather station out here right now. Eventually I may set one up. That'd be a good thing to do. I'll see time's flying for me. Y'all were talking about the most important things. That's what we try to do here. I try to bring you the news and analysis as it really is. And, some channels want to just always hype up, the bombs are about to start falling any second now all the time. And there's been a couple scares I had this morning there a couple times about that. But, It's not the case that the sky is always falling, and it hasn't fallen on us yet, has it? Although we've had some close calls. We've had some close calls. But, we're still here. And just like Trump survived that Butler, Pennsylvania talk, good Lord willing, we'll all get through this stuff. But, we have to hope for the best, hope and pray, and prep for a better day. So prep and pray, that's one of my big things. Thanks for sharing the links there in New Days. So, nice to see you again, Greg. You're alive and not half froze to death. That's right, Arnold. But it's only because I've taken a lot of steps to keep from freezing to death. I've had the kitty water here in the bottom of my van, inside the van, freeze solid a few nights. So even a little heater I got there. That's why I got these blankets. I got the sleeping bag behind me here. This is a really good sleeping bag. So I'm surviving. The biggest thing I worry about is the air temperature and how it might affect my lungs. So I have gotten sick last fall here, and it was like I had pain in my lungs because they got raw from breathing in the cold air, snoring at night, I guess. So I took a lot of steps last fall to try to deal with that, and I've been trying to improve on them since. But it don't mean I still don't get that cold feeling in my chest. So I got to be careful with that. Haven't been seeing Chicken Little. Saw a space egg the other day, though. There's been talk about egg-shaped things, and I've heard stories about them from way back. Vinny, good to meet you, Greg. Rest well. It was a pleasure to talk with you. All amazing people here. Yeah, we've got a great channel here. We're a lot of family here. My cousin Vinny from Brazil. My cousin Vinny from Brazil. We've had some good friends from down there. So you have a kitten to keep you warm. Oh yeah, that cat will really keep me warm, right? Hey mate, no, I do not do drugs. No form. I work as a aerospace contractor. That's not permitted, and I've got no interest in it. So the space egg is cracked. Houston, the space egg is cracked. Lordy, lordy. All right, we are family here, guys, and we're also a family channel, so that's why we don't know nasty talking here. So I've tracked down 2 of those compromised transformers. Brought from Mid-America here in central Iowa. Well, that's interesting, Nate. That is most interesting. Yeah, there are here. China, Guangzhou replica watches supplier. Hi, my old brother. I'm from China. Well, hello from China. I dated a girl from China. So, anyway. So, Cowboys in the house. All right, very good. Yeah, let's see. Anyway, guys, we got to go. We've been here for a long time. We got a very strong international following here. So that's good to know. We are one race around the world, really, the human race. And we got to remember that. And, there are those that wants to shackle us with, the forms of feudalism that the House of Klaus promotes, or, communism, but they all kind of merge together. There's a lot of symbiosis between what the CCP promotes and what the House of Klaus promotes. In fact, we all know that Klaus Schlauber went to China and told everybody that this is the model for the future, which is what also was told to us by none less than David Rockefeller before that. But we know freedom is the real answer, and that's what we want to see. So I always wanted to check out the Great Wall in China. Hey, man, I'd love to go to China. There's a lot of wonderful people there. There really is. There's wonderful people in every country in the world. And that's something I always say. There are good people in every country, every city, town, hamlet, every neck of the woods. You'll find good people. There's also bad people. The bad people usually float to the top of government. Because that's where sociopaths seem to be favored. So Klaus eats the bugs, exactly. Thanks, Greg. Enjoyed to hear your live show. See you in a month or so. There you go. Yeah, we'll have to rendezvous, Keith, real soon, since you're a neighbor. So, yeah, we had Korea. We got China. Oh, this is mainland China too, guys. So, all interesting. All interesting, guys. So, everybody just, bro, real quick. We're about to go. Just tell us where you're from. There's some people ain't even, we got 154 in here. Some of you haven't even chatted. So everybody just jump in real quick and tell us where you're from. There's dummies everywhere too. That's true. There's no shortage on dummies, and nobody's got a chokehold on dummies. They're everywhere. Big shout out for Trump getting us out of the World Health Organization. Amen. Yeah, we need to get rid of UN. Kick down the. All right, so China Ganzu says Beijing welcomes you. The Great Wall welcomes you. Well, thank you there, China, Ontario. All right, Northern Girl Hobbies. Good to see you. All right, so we got West Hillsboro, West Bokostan. And if you watch some old videos, you know what West Bokostan is. Vernon, it's 6,850 feet. All right, Keith. Colorado, we're good to see Colorado's in jamming. Live in Texas, the traveler. South Carolina, people the same world. Yeah, that's true, Nunu. Very true. We're all the same on the inside. Colorado Springs, Colorado. Hey, Christy. Vivian, Wright City, Missouri, close to STL. Arizona, Brian Keefe. Hey, there used to be a star called Brian Keefe. Right? Arizona, South Central, Texas. Very good. So that's Cowboy Roy, Rogers News and Clues. Well, that's a good one there, Cowboy. Illinois, Oklahoma. Working service. I know 5% of people are brutal. That's true, unfortunately. Eager, Arizona, Raspberry, your neighbor. Frozen, Carolina. Oh, yeah. Definitely that. I hope you're not in a tent there. Uh-oh. Stevens from down deep. Ballet. Or was not with a B, with an H. So, Hunter, New York Mountains. All right. London, Ontario. Okay, London, Ontario. I've been in Ontario quite a few times. I used to go to Toronto and Brampton, back working the space station robotic arm. The Canadians that built that and built that. All right, St. Augustine, Florida. Captain Trips, how you doing? All right, build the wall. There you go, build a wall. Yeah, we need a wall. China got a wall, we need a wall. Yep, they're coming home. That's right, Charlie, they're coming home. All righty, folks. Thank you, Super Chatters. Thank y'all so much tonight. Thank you, mods. You've been busy tonight. Appreciate you guys. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Just remember, this platform, they don't like my content. This video is likely to get a hit, although I could probably appeal it and win, because I really hadn't said anything that was in violation of the rules here, but AI is not smart enough to know that. So, Brampton. Oh, what is it about Brampton? Oh, is it a hellhole now? Well, I haven't been up there in a long time. That's sad to know. That's sad to know. Toronto was always the cleanest city you could ever imagine. Thank you for visiting. Yeah, amen. So, yeah, there used to be a hotel, a Holiday Inn on Dixie and 7, I believe, was the intersection I used to go to and stay a lot. I believe that was the name of the intersection. It's been a while since I've been up here, a long time. Stay warm and safe, Greg, till next time. Well, thank you there, old as dirt. Anyway, I always maintain a sense of humor. I try. You know, if they take your humor away, they're probably taking your humanity. You know, you always got to find some humor in things if you can. It keeps you sanity. All right, so the stand. All righty, folks. Again, thank you once more, Super Chatters. Thank you, mods. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Share my videos. Go in and leave comments after I post videos and chat with some of the other people. You know, reply to other people's comments. Give me some thumbs up. I appreciate that, guys. So, everyone, to one and all, have a good night and a good day wherever you are. Ho, ho, ho. Greg out.